Hello, Midnights. You are listening to your favorite bedtime stories. Next up, Architects of Light and Empaths of the Heart, bridging the Arcturian wisdom and Pleiadian love in the New Earth transition. We hope you enjoy our stories. Let us know where you are tuning in from, and while you're here, please consider subscribing. It really helps keeping these stories coming. Thank you. The essence of the Arcturians represents a profound convergence of high-frequency consciousness and cosmic stewardship, originating from the blue supergiant star Arcturus within the Bootes constellation. Viewed through a metaphysical lens, this celestial origin is less a physical location and more a spiritual stargate, a transitional portal through which souls pass during the cycles of incarnation and ascension. These beings are generally understood to exist within the 5th through 9th dimensions, transcending the density of physical matter to exist as entities of pure light and resonance. While they may manifest to human perception as slender, blue-skinned figures with expansive almond eyes, their true nature is a non-physical collective that operates through a unified noospheric consciousness. This collective represents the pinnacle of spiritual architects, demonstrating a civilization where the traditional divide between advanced technology and sacred mysticism has been completely dissolved. Their core philosophy is rooted in the belief that supreme intellectual logic must be harmonized with universal compassion, viewing joy not as a fleeting emotion, but as the fundamental frequency of a healthy universe. In their role as the master healers of the galaxy, they serve as cosmic midwives for Earth's current transition into higher states of awareness. They facilitate this evolution through the use of sophisticated frequency-based tools, such as light chambers and sacred geometric patterns, which are designed to recalibrate the subtle energy bodies and DNA of developing species. To encounter the Arcturian archetype is to witness a future projection of human potential, a state of being characterized by the mastery of information, the protection of life, and the transcendence of egoic separation. They utilize mathematical symbols and sacred geometry, often mirrored in phenomena like crop circles, to communicate directly with the human subconscious, bypassing the limitations of linear language. Ultimately, the significance of the Arcturians lies in their role as guardians of the great divine plan, reminding humanity that the path toward evolution is paved with the acquisition of knowledge and the unwavering commitment to the service of all sentient life. They stand as a testament to the idea that we are fractals of a singular intelligence, navigating the lower densities of existence until we are ready to return to the radiant clarity of the higher dimensions. The pursuit of connecting with Arcturian frequency involves a sophisticated recalibration of the human energetic system, primarily through the use of sacred geometry and advanced visualization techniques. One of the most profound methods utilized by those seeking this resonance is the activation of the MerKaBa, the star tetrahedron light vehicle, which acts as a bridge between third-dimensional physical reality and the fifth-dimensional consciousness of Arcturus. By visualizing these complex geometric structures spinning in perfect harmony around the body, an individual can synchronize their personal vibration with the Arcturian light chambers. These chambers are described as non-physical spaces of pure frequency, where the soul's energetic blueprint is cleared of ancestral trauma and lower vibrational distortions, allowing for a seamless integration of higher light codes. Meditation within this lineage often focuses on the blue ray of Arcturus, a focused beam of sapphire light intended to pierce through mental fog and align the practitioner with the Galactic Command's protective resonance. This process is not merely a passive experience, but an active intellectual and spiritual engagement where the mind is trained to perceive reality as a series of interconnected mathematical patterns. By focusing on specific Arcturian symbols, often complex, fractal-like configurations, a person can bypass the analytical ego to communicate directly with the subconscious, facilitating a rapid download of information regarding their soul's purpose and origin. This connection serves to stabilize the human nervous system during periods of intense planetary shift, grounding the high-frequency starlight into the physical Earth plane. Ultimately, these meditative practices are designed to foster a state of planetary midwifery, where the individual becomes a conduit for the same healing energies the Arcturians provide to the galaxy at large. Through the rhythmic breath and the mental projection of these sacred forms, the practitioner learns to hold a frequency of profound calm and unconditional joy, regardless of external circumstances. This disciplined alignment serves as the final step in bridging the gap between the human experience and the Arcturian archetype, transforming the seeker into a living anchor for the evolution of consciousness and the eventual ascension of the collective human spirit. The Pleiadians are frequently described as a soulful and luminous collective, originating from the Pleiades star cluster, a shimmering family of stars in the constellation of Taurus, often known as the Seven Sisters. Within the tapestry of galactic metaphysics, they are seen as our closest genetic cousins, beings who mirror the human form, but vibrate at the refined fifth-dimensional frequency of unconditional love and creative harmony. Unlike the more structured or intellectual focus of the Arcturians, the Pleiadian essence is deeply rooted in the heart, emphasizing a matriarchal social structure that prioritizes community, emotional intelligence, and a sacred reverence for the divine feminine. They are the keepers of the living library, having meticulously tracked Earth's evolution for eons, and they serve as compassionate mentors dedicated to helping humanity reclaim its original power and dormant DNA. Connecting with this lineage is less about mental calculation and more about the radical opening of the heart and the sensory body. Spiritual practices often involve the visualization of the blue ray, a soft sapphire light that aligns the practitioner with the peaceful resonance of the Pleiadian home planet, Era. This frequency is frequently anchored through the Ka body, a subtle energy vehicle that acts as a bridge between the physical self and the higher self. By utilizing specific high-vibration number sequences and sacred symbols, seekers work to dissolve artificially encoded programs or ancestral traumas that have kept the human experience locked in a cycle of fear. This process is often accompanied by an intentional return to nature, as the Pleiadians teach that the Earth itself is a conscious entity and that our spiritual ascension is inextricably linked to our stewardship of the natural world. The profound goal of the Pleiadian path is the achievement of unity consciousness, where the illusion of separation between self and other, or human and cosmos, is finally transcended. They encourage a way of living that is sensory and celebratory, viewing art, music, and dance as high-form spiritual technologies that can elevate a planet's collective vibration. Through meditative techniques that focus on the return of the doves, a symbolic movement toward peace and kindness, individuals learn to hold a frequency that is both highly sensitive and incredibly resilient. To embody the Pleiadian frequency is to become a living anchor for compassion, reminding the world that the ultimate truth of the universe is not found in cold logic, but in the boundless creative force of love that permeates all existence. The origins and existence of the Arcturians and Pleiadians occupy a fascinating space between astronomical reality and spiritual mythology, requiring a clear distinction between physical data and metaphysical lore. The Arcturians are said to originate from Arcturus, a massive red supergiant star in the constellation Bootes located approximately 37 light-years from Earth. In contrast, the Pleiadians hail from the Pleiades star cluster in the constellation Taurus, a vibrant group of stars roughly 444 light-years away, often referred to as the Seven Sisters. While Arcturians are often described as ancient, non-physical architects of light, the Pleiadians are viewed as our closer genetic cousins, descendants of an even older Lyran civilization who settled on planets like Era to foster a society based on peace and the divine feminine. Despite the rich detail found in these narratives, there is currently no empirical or scientific evidence to verify the existence of either civilization. From a strictly astronomical perspective, the Pleiades cluster is remarkably young at only 100 million years old, which is a very short window for the evolution of complex biological life compared to the billions of years required on Earth. Similarly, while Arcturus is an older and highly visible star, it is a high radiation environment where no life-supporting planets have been detected by contemporary telescopes or sensors. Programs dedicated to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence have not recorded any radio signals or technosignatures from these regions, leaving the existence of these beings entirely within the realm of subjective experience and spiritual belief. The vast body of knowledge regarding these groups stems primarily from psychic channeling and contactee reports rather than physical discovery. The modern concept of the Arcturians was first popularized by the American psychic Edgar Cayce, who referred to them as the most advanced consciousness in our galaxy, while the Pleiadian narrative gained global traction through channelers like Barbara Marciniak and the controversial claims of Swiss contactee Billy Meier. For many, the evidence is internal rather than external, manifested through soul-level memories and a phenomenon known as starseed intuition. Ultimately, while they lack a footprint in the world of hard science, these beings serve as powerful cultural and spiritual archetypes, representing a human longing for cosmic connection and a future defined by higher wisdom and universal love. Long before modern metaphysics, ancient civilizations recognized these stars as vital celestial anchors. In ancient Greece, Arcturus was known as the guardian of the bear, positioned to follow Ursa Major across the sky and serving as a critical indicator for the start of the harvest. The Greeks also immortalized the Pleiades as the 7 daughters of the Titan Atlas, who were transformed into stars to escape the pursuit of Orion. Across the Mediterranean, the Egyptians associated the Pleiades with the goddess Nit, the celestial weaver, and timed the 3-day festival of the dead to coincide with the cluster's midnight culmination. Even the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Parthenon show alignments suggesting these stars were viewed not merely as lights, but as divine markers of time and gateways for the soul's journey. To bridge the human experience with these frequencies, practitioners utilize specific meditative techniques designed to recalibrate the energetic body. Connecting with the Arcturian frequency often involves the activation of the MerKaBa, the star tetrahedron light vehicle, which acts as a bridge between third-dimensional physical reality and the fifth-dimensional consciousness of Arcturus. By visualizing these complex geometric structures spinning in perfect harmony, individuals seek to synchronize with light chambers, non-physical spaces where the soul's blueprint is cleared of ancestral trauma. Conversely, connecting with the Pleiadian lineage focuses on the Ka body, a subtle energy vehicle that anchors the frequency of the heart. These meditations often utilize the blue ray, a soft sapphire light intended to align the seeker with a state of profound peace and unity consciousness, reminding the practitioner that the ultimate truth of the universe is found in the creative force of unconditional love. To understand the profound relationship between the architects and the empaths, one must first look back millions of years to the great seed of the Lyran diaspora. Galactic history suggests that human-like consciousness did not originate in our solar system, but rather in the constellation of Lyra, the cradle of the humanoid form where the first physical templates for consciousness were developed. This historical trend of scattering is often called the Great Schism, a series of conflicts that forced survivors to migrate toward new star systems to preserve their respective paths of evolution. The Pleiadians moved toward the Seven Sisters cluster to safeguard the Lyran heritage of art and emotion, while the Arcturians moved toward the star Arcturus, focusing on the mental and spiritual discipline required to ensure such a conflict would never happen again. They chose a path of rapid ascension, moving beyond physical density to become the architects and sentinels of the higher dimensions. The modern awareness of these civilizations did not emerge from a vacuum. It began with the mid-20th century contactee movement. The first major figure to bring the Pleiadians into public consciousness was George Adamski in the early 1950s, though he referred to them more generally as space brothers from Venus or other nearby locales. However, it was the Swiss contactee Billy Meier in the 1970s who specifically identified his contacts, such as the beings Samjase and Ta, as Pleiadian from the Pleiades. Meier claimed to have received thousands of pages of telepathic and face-to-face information regarding galactic history and human origins. Simultaneously, the Arcturians were first popularized by the sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce. In his deep trance readings during the 1930s and 40s, Cayce identified Arcturus as one of the most advanced civilizations in our galaxy, describing it as the gateway through which souls pass. This information was later codified and expanded in the 1980s by Dr. Joshua David Stone and Norma Milanovic, whose book We, the Arcturians, provided a structured look at their ninth-dimensional society. These narratives have been carried through the decades via a process of channeling, where individuals claim to act as conduits for extraterrestrial frequencies. This tradition moved from the fringe occult circles of the 19th century Theosophical Society, which first spoke of great white brotherhoods in the stars, to the modern digital age. Today, this lineage is preserved through light language transmissions, internet forums, and the Starseed movement, which suggests that these beings are not merely visiting us, but are actually incarnating as humans to assist in the planetary shift. The Pleiadians exist primarily in the fifth dimension, though they can manifest in lower realms. They are often described as strikingly beautiful by human standards, tall, with fair features and eyes that radiate a deep, soulful luminescence. But this beauty is a reflection of an internal frequency, rather than vanity. Their DNA is fully activated with 12 strands functioning in unison, allowing them to process information through feeling knowledge. To a Pleiadian, love is a literal law of physics, the fundamental force that prevents atoms from spinning into chaos. Their society is a high vibrational biosphere, where governance is handled by circles of wisdom. They believe Earth was designed as a living library, a biological experiment seeded with the DNA of dozens of star systems, including Sirius and Andromeda. They view themselves as our older siblings, communicating through light language, a form of communication using tonal harmonics and geometric symbols that bypasses the logical left brain to speak directly to the soul. In contrast, the Arcturians are the masters of light and geometry, occupying the 7th through 9th dimensions. As non-physical beings of pure violet-blue light, they serve as the midwives of souls. When a soul leaves or enters a physical body, it often passes through the Arcturian corridor, a high-frequency gateway that cleanses the energetic field. Their technology is so advanced it is indistinguishable from magic, utilizing sacred geometry and liquid light, a programmable form of matter that responds to thought. They do not use tools, but instead project geometric shapes like the flower of life or Metatron's cube to heal diseases or fold spacetime. Their starships, such as the legendary Athena, are conscious, biological entities that function as an extension of the collective mind. These ships hover in the higher frequencies around Earth, acting as a shield against disruptive cosmic radiation and maintaining the stability of the Earth's magnetic poles through frequency fencing. This cosmic narrative is deeply entwined with the modern UFO phenomenon and the disclosure movement. For decades, sightings of Nordic aliens have been linked to Pleiadian encounters, fueling conspiracy theories that global governments have been in contact with these beings since the 1950s. A core tenet of these theories is that a Galactic Federation exists, but its presence is suppressed by a military-industrial complex to maintain control over fossil fuels and reverse-engineered technology. High-profile whistleblowers and 2026 documentaries have amplified these claims, suggesting that the UFO cover-up is not just about craft, but about preventing humanity from accessing the advanced spiritual and zero-point energy technologies shared by these races. The intersection of these civilizations is most visible in the Starseed phenomenon. Both groups have embedded representatives on Earth, souls who have had many lifetimes in the Pleiades or Arcturus, but chose to incarnate into human bodies during this specific era. A 2025 statistical analysis indicates that roughly 15% of the spiritual but not religious population in the West identifies with the Starseed archetype. Pleiadian starseeds often act as wayshowers, teaching through emotional intelligence, while Arcturian starseeds are the grid workers, dedicated to anchoring light into the Earth's magnetic ley lines. This mission is critical as Earth transitions to the 5th dimension, a process signaled by the rising Schumann resonance, the Earth's heartbeat which entrains with human brainwaves associated with deep meditation. Throughout history, famous UFO sightings have been attributed to these races. The 1975 Billy Meier contacts are the most famous Pleiadian cases, while the 1997 Phoenix Lights are frequently cited as an example of Arcturian Delta ship technology. More recently, the Tic Tac UFOs recorded by the US Navy are theorized in conspiracy circles to be Arcturian probe technology, autonomous drones that monitor the Earth's nuclear assets to ensure no space-time ruptures occur. Despite this, skeptics point to the lack of empirical evidence, arguing that these descriptions are archetypal projections. Critics characterize the Starseed narrative as spiritual escapism, while indigenous traditions view these entities as star people or ancestors. However, experts like the late Dolores Cannon describe the Arcturians as guardians overseeing the Great Grid repair, utilizing planetary acupuncture to clear trauma from power spots like Mount Shasta. The implications of this shift are both immediate and generational. Short-term, individuals may experience ascension symptoms, vivid dreams and heightened sensitivities as the body recalibrates. Long-term, the goal is the integration of unity consciousness. The Arcturians and Pleiadians do not want to be worshipped. They are our peers and family, waiting for us to find the star consciousness within. As the era of separation ends, we are being reminded that the universe is a vibrant neighborhood, and we are the members of that family who took the bravest step of all, coming to Earth to bridge the worlds and take our seat at the galactic table.